maybe an NBA Finals preview. I mean, who knows? A lot of basketball to go, but we'll see what happens. Boy, wouldn't that be fun if that ends up being the finals. Drew Gressett, lifetime Longhorn, is in here. We saw you last night out at Cover 3 for the Coach G show.
Yep, that was great.
Were you surprised at how many people showed up for that?
There was a lot of people. The restaurant was full. I was amazed.
And you were there the night before. That's where you watched the basketball game.
I'd gone 2 nights in a row. I thought it was that good.
Yeah, it is. And the food's delicious and everything. But it was a great turnout. And now Rick Barnes does his show from Pluckers.
Yep.
So you should check it out, man. It's you get a chance to ask questions too from most people. Once a week you get a chance to pick the brains of the guy who's commanding the ship, which you know a little bit about. And I'm gonna just dig right into it, man, because I've been waiting to talk to you. This Kansas State game. I know you were watching it from Cover 3. Just your overall thoughts on the game before I started.
Well, I mean, it was it's tough. You hate to lose. It was the first loss of the season. Tough to swallow going up to Manhattan. Seems like no matter what sport, Kansas State always finds a way to give Texas a good game and oftentimes beat us.
Not often.
They hold their own. They hard. More with when Tom Penders was here, but I mean Rick Barnes. I think he's now 8-5 or something. I think he's something like that. I mean, K-State has had. I mean, God, everybody will remember that kid Clement coming in here last year and lighting us up for 44, and it's like, guys, guard it, please. The guy wouldn't miss a 3. He did not have that great a game, but I think from the Longhorn fans we talked to and just in watching the game. God, the missed layups were just absolutely excruciating.
I mean, perimeter defense was great. Interior defense and interior offense was awful. I think we got beat points in the paint, 36-16. Got out rebounded by 9. Missed 13 free throws. And the truth of the matter is those stats carry over. Those stats do matter. And when you lose the battle in those stats, it's tough to win basketball games. So it's frustrating.
Was it the first? And I say this, and I said it earlier. I think it was the first time that I saw the inexperience of this group, and it really, honestly, I know it may sound like nitpicking, but these guys have been so strong all year long. The only thing that you can really look to is that this was perhaps their second or third tough road game. In those types of environments, when you play at Texas, it's one thing. When you play with that number 1 ranking, when you're at the top of the heap, it's a completely different
totally different
ball. And so I think what I saw was, first and foremost, when Dexter got into some foul trouble, that really hurt us. That was big. Damian wasn't knocking down shots, which he's our leading scorer. We're used to him scoring points.
We're accustomed to that.
And the young guys, here's where I was a little disappointed because we have so many guys who are chomping at the bit to score. You have Jordan Hamilton, Avery Bradley, Jacobin Brown. So many guys can fill up the basket, and even guys like Gary Johnson have come along of, the best 6 man in my opinion. He could be in the country. Mm-hmm. None of those guys came through.
No.
And when the big boys are struggling, I was always a role player. You know what I mean? I wasn't the superstar. And I know when you have to play, it's only a couple games a year that those guys struggle. We won't see Dexter Pittman and Damian James probably struggle like that combined the rest of the year.
Right.
Hopefully. But it usually doesn't happen. So in saying that, I mean, those young guys, that's why I said the inexperience came in from your take. And that's just my opinion. What'd you see?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think those guards started forcing it. Jacobin, Avery, Jordan Hamilton. They got into some positions where they were forcing the ball a little bit. Even Justin Mason. I mean, but those big guys have to set the tone inside and be tougher in there. They've got to go to work and do what they've been doing all season. And obviously they didn't do it against Kansas State. There's disappointment surrounding that. But you're right. Whenever that's fallen off, the guards have to do a good job of picking up the slack, and they didn't do it. We talked about before that we've got 6 guys that can score 20 points, and none of them did the other night. And that was the difference in the game. Not one player stepped up, and that's just the fact of the matter in this particular game.